Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue.
From serenading travels at an airport lounge to capturing our hearts on American Idol. Now, how did Josh King do it? How'd you go from tarmac tunes to national television? Welcome, Josh King, to According to Amabile. So great to see you, Josh.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is exciting for me. Your journey has been wonderful. You had us at hello from your audition of Over the Rainbow. And I was always just so impressed at how you progressed throughout the competition. And right from that audition, like you went in there and you just sat down at the piano. And I got Ben Folds 5 vibes off of you right away, which that's one of my favorite artists. But I wanted to know, like, why Over the Rainbow and what was your thoughts behind auditioning with that song?
So Over the Rainbow, when I did my video submission, because you sent out a video submission if you submit online, that was the song I submitted online, was Over the Rainbow. And it was me at a pub in the middle, somewhere in England doing that song. And I just sent in a random video. I just pulled something from my YouTube. I'm like, hey, no way something happens. I'll just send in a video. Obviously, they picked it up, and I got a call, and they said, hey, we'd like to have a call with you and talk to you with our producers. I'm like, okay. And we went there, and like, okay, so we want you in Nashville. We would love to see you in Nashville. We'd love to have you. I'm like, okay. And there's one thing. It's like, we want you to go in front of our judges and do that song. And I'm like, easy, sounds good. I don't, but I thought about like maybe Over the Rainbow isn't a great song for the judges, because maybe like I should do a different one, because Over the Rainbow is quite overused a little bit. Not a little bit, but a lot. And I'm like, could I do maybe something else? They're like, no, we would really like you to do that for our judges. I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Over the Rainbow it is.
And then it worked out, and obviously they knew what they were talking about, because I went up there and I got 2 yeses, and Carrie said no because they felt I was too, I guess, loungy. Forgot what it's been like 8 years ago, so I don't remember quite everything. But that's what it feels like, honestly. It feels like it happened forever, like a decade ago. It's gone by so fast. And then from there I got my golden ticket, and yeah, that's where it began.
I feel like what happens is, like, when you send in those audition tapes or whatever, it's summer, and then they put you before the judges in the fall, and then it's Hollywood week, Christmas time.
I sent in my video like the day of like the deadline.
Oh,
so it was
nothing like last minute.
Yeah, I was in front of the judges 2 days, like 2 days after that.
No way, really? That quick? I would have been so nervous.
Well, it's kind of funny. They actually had me scheduled out for November. It was like November 11th. That's when I was supposed to go. And they're like, hey, so it would really work out if you came in earlier. If you came, like, are you free? Like, I forgot what day it was. I think it might have been a Saturday. It's like, are you free this Saturday? I'm like, yeah. And like, can you come to Nashville then? I'm like, sure. And of course, it was right after Hurricane Helene, so it was a bit of a challenge getting to Nashville. But we got there, and yeah, worked out pretty well.
Now, is that one of the songs you did performing in an airport lounge? First of all, how does one get a job at an airport lounge? Because the first time I had ever seen a piano player was in Switzerland.
It's not really a lounge. It's just a piano in the airport. There's like no bar for it. It's not a bar. It's just a piano sitting in the middle of the smack dab in the center of the airport, the big old atrium where all, like, pretty much everything intersects. And you just have a piano there. And of course, they bring it's more of a volunteer job. You get to keep tips, but it's volunteer, so you don't get paid for it.
Nice.
So yeah, I did that, and It was fun. It really, what the biggest thing, because I reached out to them. Of course, it's the airport, so it takes a little while to get things moving. But I reached out to them, did a audition, and they're like, okay, you can play it. And of course, you had to do a background check. You have to get fingerprinted and all this other stuff because federal facility and all this stuff because it's an airport. Um, yeah, but overall, it's fun because what it really got me was that I stopped caring about playing in front of people because I did it every day. So I stopped caring about like making little mistakes or something. And I got really used to being in front of people. And I've never been too big on stage fright, but just being able to play the airport in front of just random people really helps with that. So, and of course, that wasn't the only thing I did. I also, volunteer at the hospitals and I play piano at different, campuses at the hospital. I play piano at different, hospitals, and then there's a children's hospital, and we do a show there every week.
which is wonderful. You just actually flew home and performed at a hospital just since Idol,
Yep, I
right?
did. When I got eliminated, I got to go home for a week and, you know, stop by at the children's hospital and did my typical, 1 hour show. And we talked about, American Idol and the journey that we've had on the show. And it was fun. It was really nice to, go home and see everybody and basically get back into it.
But that's so wonderful of you to do, Josh, to do that for the kids, come home and give back. That's admirable.
Yeah, I really like doing it because, um, you know, it feels good for me and it makes everybody else, feel better about being there. Makes it just a little bit more bearable.
Now, the thing about you at the piano is you're primarily a harmonica player. I mean, I don't know if they talked about this too much on the show, but you played with Johnny Lang, which is pretty amazing. And you were mentored by, who are you? James Cotton, right?
It's gotten.
That's pretty cool. And Buddy Guy, you got to play with him too, right?
Yep, quite a few of the old cats I got to play with, and they taught me a lot about performing, and just taught me a lot about life because they had so much experience and just knowledge under the hat, and they were so gracious to share it to little 10-year-old me. Of course, I've forgotten some things I shouldn't have because it was so long ago, but for the most part, I've retained all that information and applied it to my career now. And they gave me the chance to perform, and they really, what's the word for it? They gave me that opportunity to perform in front of people, you know, to get to feel out like what it's kind of like to be a musician and a performing artist. And like, is this what you want to do? Is this what you really want to do with your life? I'm like, absolutely. And so them giving me those chances and just sharing the knowledge that they had, gained over their lives with me just really helped solidify, who I am as a person and what I want to do with my life. And I'm forever just thankful to them for just giving me that.
It's so important to have mentors, and I'm sure that helped with your Idol experience. And some of the choices that you had on Idol weren't necessarily in the Buddy Guy genre,
Of
like
course.
Rick Astley. That was your Rick Rollin.
I'm a big fan of Rick Astley. Like vocally, he's like one of my favorite singers. Um, so I did Hopelessly by him for Idol Arena, and that's when I really broke everything out. It's everything like, okay, this is who I am. That's when I broke out like everything. I was like, I can stick around for a little while, right? And then Showstoppers, I did Keep Singing, which was not aired, but for intensive purposes, it wasn't the most exciting performance in my opinion. But what it did is that it served a purpose to show the judges that, I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone because, it was the first time I got off the piano. I'm starting to try to work the stage. I'm being interactive. It's basically me stepping out my comfort zone, showing them, okay, I'm improving. I'm trying new things. And that's the most important about it, is that you experiment with just different styles of just performing and really kind of figure it out. And then after that, we did that duet with Mikey until I found you, and that was a that was an experience.
Well, Mikey looked like a Ken doll. He was
Oh no, he's like peak physique, peak
right.
physique. Um, yeah, that was crazy because this entire time I went through Hollywood Week with a busted foot. So I was at that point where I was like barely able to walk,
How
and
did you bust your foot, by the way?
I tore my plantar fascia.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a um. It really the pain got really bad around that round, and so I'm like, I'm gonna kind of lean on you on top of like just being dead tired, having no sleep, and you're learning a song in like 4 hours. It was like so many problems just stacked up on each other, and it was just so intense. And I'm like, I leaned on. So you see me kind of leaning on. It's like, why is he leaning on him so long? I'm like, because I couldn't walk. So, um, and if you notice, like, there's like a photo of just us kind of, talking to the judges at the end there, and I'm standing on one leg.
right. So that's why.
There's a
Mystery
reason.
solved.
There
Now
is a
it can be
reason for
told.
that. But yeah, Mikey literally carried me through that on his shoulder, and I couldn't have asked for a better partner. And until I found you, not a great song in my opinion, but
Steven
it's like,
Sanchez, yeah.
yeah, we had a list of like 12 or 14 songs that are all like TikTok songs, so I was
Oh no.
incredibly unfamiliar with any of them. I wasn't familiar with anything. And Mikey's like, okay, I know this one song and that we could probably pull it off. And it's like, do you believe in me? I'm like, dude, you gotta do. I'm like, I will stick with you to the end. And he chose that one. And I'm like, okay, we can work with this. Lyrically, it's a little bit of a mess, but my opinion. But like we can work with this because the vibe, like we can really play into it, right? We can really play into that kind of Righteous Brothers kind of vibe going on. And it was interesting. It was a very interesting because like we had like the whole arrangement. We got the arrangement done. We're like, okay, this is the first part. We got this done. Now we just need to memorize it. And that's where the problem came in. Um, Memorizing, I'm actually pretty decent with. The issue was is that you have no sleep. And so
Mm.
for the rehearsal, you see, like I'm not remembering anything. That's us basically going more than 24 hours there with no sleep. And then at 2 a.m. trying to do this in the rehearsal, and it's just not coming to me. Of course, I got about 30 minutes of sleep, so I started remembering things again. And we kept running it over and over and over and over again. I think we went like through the song 300 times before we went up stage. Like we were practicing down to the minute. Like we have to make this as perfect as we possibly can. And that's one thing where I really lucked out is that I got Mikey as a partner, and Mikey is like our like together our work ethic was impeccable, and that is probably one of the biggest reasons why we made it through it is because we were on it the entire time. We had practice and practice and practice that we put so much. I don't want to be like I guess arrogant or something, but I feel that out of all the duos there, we put the most work into that to make it work, and it paid off. Um, we it was crazy, like it was just crazy, and I don't know how to describe it. It's just a surreal experience, especially when you're dead tired and I barely remember any of it because of just how tired I was,
Oh.
and of course, like we got to the point where it was like, okay, we need to do something. So we just took just straight up caffeine and just mix in the water. And we're like, okay, we're good for an hour. And then after that, we just absolutely crashed. But the most important part is that we made it through it.
How
And
much how much did Jelly Roll help with that process? To be
so
honest.
we got to work with Jelly for about maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
So Unit came in, he gave his input on like what we could do, what we should do. And then he was really liking the song. And of course, after that, I started freaking out because I was so tired. And Jelly's like, "What happened? You were like, you guys had it before. Like, what's happening?" It's like, you were just so tired. Um, Mikey learned it a little quicker than me, obviously, like much quicker. Um, the guys, I need his energy. Um, um, and then you get, I think we were in the vocal coaches room because you have actual vocal coaches that Idol has. You work with them up to 2 hours for that.
Oh, that's great.
So we were in there for a while. And of course, the camera was also in there almost the entire time.
Not so great.
So they were definitely getting. I'm like, hey, look at this. Look at this way, Mikey. Yeah, the rehearsal bombed big time, but at least we made good TV, right?
And you made it through that round, and then you got to I'm Still Standing, Elton John, which was that was so much fun.
That was probably where I was the most comfortable. I kind of got into my element. I figured out I'm like I'm really comfortable behind stuff, and I figured out I'm like I don't need to be behind the piano. I got behind a mic stand and I kind of worked with the mic stand. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It was like the first performance I'd done on the show where I just straight up was having a good time and I wasn't worrying about a single thing. The crowd was electric and like they were super like pumped up and like it was super fun just like interacting with them. And that was the most performance I've had. That was the most fun performance I've had on the show. And I really enjoyed that. And I wish I could go back and experience it again.
You looked like you were having a blast with that. And
Well,
then,
I'm still standing. My foot didn't hurt.
hey, so, so tell me about Hawaii and Josh Groban.
Hawaii was something else. I've never been that far west of the United States before in my life. Um, so it was like getting out there. It was crazy because it was almost like perfect weather the entire week we were out there. Like I think it rained once, and that was it.
Wow.
And you wake up and you open the door and you see the ocean. And it's just amazing just to wake up to, and you hear the ocean. Uh, it's a beautiful resort. It's crazy. I love saying crazy, but it was such a surreal experience because I'm actually here right now. I'm in the top 24. I made it here, and I almost didn't. And then we spent the week doing like B-roll footage to like tubing 'cause my foot was still kind of messed up at the time, so like I didn't go hiking or doing it that kind of stuff, but I got to like do the lazy river and the tubing stuff because easy, you just sit there and float around. Played my harmonica in the pool for the camera. And the one thing they did make me do, funny enough, was yoga. And so there's a photo of me, I'm just like, and then of course John is like right next to me and he's also doing the same thing, but instead of looking like in absolute misery and pain, he's just like this. Like he's like enjoying it, and I'm like over there, like it's a shame they didn't use any of the camera footage because like you see me like all right, now we're gonna lift our leg, and I'm like, "Ah!"
Maybe they could use it for the finale, you know?
Yeah, it was such a just stupid experience. It was funny. Um, I am not a flexible person, so I was like struggling the entire time. But I got a free shirt. I can't complain. They gave me a shirt for it. That was my consolation prize for twisting my leg in a position it's never ever been in.
Well, at least you got a free shirt and not a bad luck tiki like the Brady Bunch came back with.
Oh, really?
That Hawaii episode is like
Oh
my
boy.
entire experience with Hawaii.
Oh my Lord. Uh, First I went to Pearl Harbor with Philo, and we saw that, and that was pretty cool. So there's a photo of Philo. He's going on a machine gun. I think I posted it on my Instagram somewhere. Uh, that was fun. So we got to have fun quite a bit. And then after that, we did our rehearsals. I mean, it was kind of a slow build. You do your vocal coaching and whatnot, then you start doing stage. Like once it was cool, like sitting out in kind of that little bay area, not bay, forgot it was a lagoon or something. Like we just sit out there and you kind of just watch the stage slowly build up over the couple days.
Oh, nice.
And once it was done, that's when you start your stage rehearsals, and you do like 2 rehearsals, and then you go on to camera rehearsal, which is your final rehearsal. Then you do one more rehearsal the day of, and then you perform. And then after that, yeah, you fly back. And so the vocal coaching you do, I think 2 days prior, and then I was Josh Groban. The first day was Ashanti's. I did not get to meet Ashanti,
Oh,
but I did get to meet Josh Groban, and that was kind of funny because I was like, Josh, meet Josh,
Josh.
Josh squared. Um, he's a really cool guy to hang out with. Very top. He's like very like personable kind of guy. Like he hung out backstage with us and kind of talked to us, and
Really?
just a very, very chill guy to just hang around. And his biggest piece of advice was me. It's like I get ahead of the song a bit because I'm thinking so fast, and it's like you just need to pull it back a bit. Just pull it back, calm down, slow it down, and that was fine. And then I had it in my ear, so I had a click track the entire time. And so I'm just getting used to the song, and I got really into it. And I remember just to pace myself on stage, and it all worked out. And so yeah, it's really cool to meet him. Really, really cool to meet him. I wish I remembered more of it, but again, it feels like a blur. It feels so long ago. But yeah, we got that done, and then we had like a 2 month break as it started airing, and then you go back for lives, which we've been doing, and as I was eliminated, yeah.
Yeah, that was recently. But I
Hold
thought
on.
I thought during the lives, I thought that you had some really wonderful moments. And man, you got to work with James Taylor, which was very, very cool.
Oh, my mom got to meet him
Oh,
too.
your mom must have been thrilled.
Yeah,
I hope she got a picture
James,
with him.
she did. James Taylor's one of her favorite artists of all time.
She got a picture with him, right?
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. And uh, you had some moments like "You Are So Beautiful," which that's a song that's been done on the show before. I thought you did it well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. He's like, "We're gonna kind of build up with the band." I'm like, "No, no, we're gonna be very subtle with it." Like that's the most important part about this song is that it's just very low key and subtle. It's kind of a sleepy song, but that's the point of it. It's the beauty of the song is just how simple it is. And yeah, it was the Songs of Faith episode. And for the people who do say, they're like, "Oh, you didn't do a Song of Faith for Songs of Faith." Technically speaking, "You Are So Beautiful" actually was written about God. So it is a song in faith.
Well, because some people associate it with so many different uses, like a very famous
Oh yeah.
episode of Three's Company with
Yeah, well, at the end of things, it's a very subjective song.
mhm.
"You Are So Beautiful" could literally mean anyone. It could mean your mother. It could mean your wife. It could mean like a family member or a friend. It could mean, God. It can mean anything. It is a very subjective song. It's like, who are you singing it to? And that's what makes a song.
Well, Carrie seemed to enjoy it. I think you got some good feedback from the judges.
I don't remember the, it
You
feels
don't
so
remember,
long ago.
you don't remember anything. There was nothing the judges have told you that you've taken with you since the show. There's like Luke or Lionel.
I mean, probably the biggest thing that stuck with me is that I think Lionel told me to believe in myself. He's like, you don't believe in yourself enough. He's like, believe in yourself some more.
Well,
And,
I think that was evident when you were doing All by Myself, which like that was a beautiful moment for you too, and that saved you. That performance.
um, yeah, never gonna give you up. I did never gonna give you up because I'm like, I was like reading the comments and stuff. The comments were overwhelmingly negative. So I'm like, you know what? I'm probably going home. And like, I'm just gonna do a song I really enjoy, and I'm gonna go up there and just have fun. And that was kind of the purpose of Never Gonna Give You Up. I'm like, I'm gonna rickroll America and just have fun. And it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. And playing harmonica, it's actually really cool. It's a really cool song to play harmonica too. Um, and then to my surprise, people were like he looked surprised when the judges saved him. It's like because I thought I was fully like in the mindset. I'm like, I'm going home. Like where they were gonna announce that I was going home, I was fully mentally prepared for it. I'm like, this is it. And then they said, you're going forward. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay. So if I'm going forward, I'm gonna have to pull something out that, really stands out, or not stand out, but just kind of have my heart to heart with the audience to say this, this is what it's been like for me, and this is what this show has done for me, and I want to this is kind of like my thank you to all of them, right? So like every song, I was trying to still kind of wrap up my story nicely, no matter what I did. Even if it was an up-tempo song, I wanted to be like, if that was like the song I went out with, it still wrapped it up very nicely. Um, yeah, it's one of those things where you're not quite singing, you don't feel like you're really singing for your life, but you're singing to the point like, I want to make this as the best performance as possible because it might be my last. And
Right.
is all by myself is something for me. Like before I went up on the stage, somebody um on the computer backstage or whatever, I think they were referencing the original song before playing it. The original song is based off of was Rachmaninoff's Concerto in C minor. So before I went on stage, so people were like, he seemed kind of like a little upset before he went out in there. I'm like, I wasn't upset, but it was already kind of emotional because like it's probably my favorite classical song I like ever. And I heard it in my ears like in the 5 minute commercial break before going on stage. And so I was already listening to it before I actually did the song. So I was in that mindset when I went up on that stage. And the lyrics of the song, I've experienced it, I can internalize it, and like I know it's not going to be as great as, say, a Celine Dion or Pia Toscano, but I'm at least going to I'm at least going to make it believable because I've experienced what the singer of this song is going through. I know what it feels like to be alone, and I'm going to make sure that everybody kind of sees that and recognizes it. And I kind of want people kind of look at it as a Celine Dion song, which she did do the song, but I went into the song more so kind of what's the word for it? I went into the song referencing the Eric Carmen version rather than Celine Dion. We did use the same kind of key change from Celine Dion's song, um, but like the shortened words, like phrases of the song is very Eric Carmen. And I prefer the Eric Carmen for a multitude of reasons. Prefer the Eric Carmen version for a multitude of reasons. I believe the Eric Carmen version is a lot more emotional. It's less impressive than Celine Dion. So, like Celine Dion's version is vocally like powerhouse, impressive. Very few people can do it like does it. But the Eric Carmen version is so emotional. It's like you listen to it and you're like, wow, he is genuine. Like he's genuinely miserable. um, like he starts the song flat. And it's very intentional. Um, he shortens his like, when I was young, I never needed anyone, and making love was just for fun. Those days are gone. And he sings it like that. He sings it very conversationally. It's like somebody opening up about how they've been feeling and they've been like kind of repressing it for so long. And he starts out flat, and the reason for that is it's kind of like if you ever talk to somebody about something like this they're really emotionally tied to, they're going to be very hesitant about opening up about it. And they're gonna be like, I'm talking like this. I don't really want to talk about it. But as they start getting a little more comfortable sharing their feelings, they get more conversational. They start putting a little more, you know, strength in their voice as they're like, this is what I've been going through. It sucks. And I want it to stop. I can't take it anymore. And then by the end of this, it peaks and, all by myself. Because he's like calling for help. It's like, this is where I am. I'm alone. Is there anybody, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be alone anymore. And then at the end of the song, it chills out again, when I was young, I never needed anyone. And it's a very conversational song. And that's the beauty of it is again, is how simple it is and just how personal the song is. And I tried to embody that when I went on the stage because I feel that's probably the most important aspect of the song.
Well, Josh, there wasn't a dry eye in the house, probably with anybody watching the show after that.
I mean,
Everybody was
mine
like,
weren't.
we
I'm like,
can't send that boy home. He's got to stay.
like I had to take my glasses off and I'm like, ah. They turned the camera away because I think they thought I was gonna like say like curse or something, but I just went, ah.
Oh. It
But
was
I
like
was
a
able to,
therapy session watching you up there.
yeah, I was like, I was able to regain my composure. It actually kind of worked because you have to go see a psychiatrist after you get eliminated and just talk about like how are you feeling. But like I didn't really like after I was eliminated. I'm like I don't really need to say anything. Through my performances, I've said everything that needs to be said, and that's kind of how I felt about it. And then after that, we did Rolling in the Deep, which was kind of like a song. I'm like, okay, I can do this one. I'm gonna try to do it. Like this is kind of it's not blues, but I'm going to try to as like tap into that blues background as much as possible for that song. And then of course for Home, that was another song where I really embodied like I could embody the lyrics and the meaning. And that was me basically sharing my feelings. I'm like, you know, I've had fun here, but regardless, I want to stay here, but I still want to go home. And that's the feeling that everybody kind of shares is that we love being here. We want to stay around, but there's that little thought in the back of your mind that still goes, I miss home. And it's a song that, embodies homesickness, which I feel all the time when I'm out here. And it's one of those things you can never really get used to because LA is not home for me. Charlotte, North Carolina, that's home for me. But in a way, it's like a therapy, right? Being able
Right.
to sing about it is like you're sharing your feelings to the audience and they're listening to you and they're understanding. It's like we hear you. And I don't care about winning. I never cared about winning. I was just happy to be here. I was happy to go as far as I did. And I would have loved to go farther. I would have, if I won, that'd be awesome. But it was one of those things, it's like, it's not important to me. What is important? What is important to me is that I'm here. I'm getting to experience this with everybody. And we're in this together. And nothing can ever, just change this experience. Or what's the word for it? Nothing could ever make me like, I don't know the word for it, but regardless, this experience has been probably the best experience I've ever had in my life. And I'm just being here. I was like, I know it just reaffirms that this is what I want to do. I love performing, even if it's not in front of the same, amounts of people again. This is what I still love to do.
But you
And
made us so happy doing it. Even when you did tell her about it, it was like I was dancing at home. It's like it was just you're a happy performer, Josh. Like
the longest time, I forgot
the
about that
longest time,
one.
right?
Oh, that's another song. I'm like, this is another one. Wraps it up nicely. This is one I go home on. I am perfectly okay with it because I had a lot of fun. It was a song I've been wanting to do for the longest time. And I could never get anybody to learn the parts. I could never get anybody to learn it. So being able to like get up there and do, get the background vocals behind me, to sit behind the piano. Well, I wasn't behind the piano, I was on the piano. Because they're like, you need to get back on the piano. I'm like, technically,
You're
I'm on
leaning
the
against
piano.
me.
And that was something I've tried to do is I've tried to make sure that every performance I do has something slightly different about it. So I'm not doing the same old shtick this same exact time. It might not work for a lot of people, but it is still something like me trying something new each time. And the longest time is just one of those songs I just wanted to do so bad. I'm like, it's probably not a good song for competition, but is it a song I'm going to have just a lot of fun and just joy doing? Yes. And I was just so happy to do that song. Like, if you said goodbye to me tonight, just
Ooh.
getting to do that was just a dream come true.
Well, you proved yourself to be a gentleman in competition, especially when you were motioning towards Mattie when they were going for the save. It's like I was like,
Yeah.
well, I was like,
It's
what
like,
is he doing? Is he just throwing in the towel? It's like you're just motioning over to her.
well, I was to the point where like, you know what? They saved me once already. The likelihood of them saving me again, not very likely. I mean, it could happen. It's happened before, but over Mattie, and Mattie has so much potential, and I felt that Disney round would allow her to kind of step out of that, it would allow her to further step outside the box. You know, it would allow her to pull out something completely different than she's done in the past, and just to show her off even more. And I felt that she could benefit more from the experience. Like I was already benefiting from the experience of being on the show, and I could have benefited more from staying on, but I felt that she, more than I could, would benefit greatly more from staying on the show because performing in front of thousands is not normal for a 16-year-old.
No.
Not normal. I mean, I've done it before at like festivals and stuff, so it's like it's not completely alien to me. But for her, this is like the first time. This is like the first time she's ever been like in front of something like this. So her staying on just can set her up for what's the word for it? Her staying on could benefit her more than it would me. And I wanted to say, but I was thinking about, like I feel that she deserves to go further more than I do. And it's one thing. Michael Johns finished, 8. So 8's a pretty good number to tap out on. I made it to the single digits, and you know what? I'm like, that's further than I ever thought I would get. I'm like, you know what? This is perfect. I'm like, I'm really comfortable with this number. It's like, would going home suck at this point? No. Like, so many people have tried to be here. And they've worked their entire lives to be here, and somehow I'm here. And just just the opportunity to be here. Like, I don't need to win. This is enough. I don't need to win American Idol to show people that this is who I am. I'm Josh King. This is what I love to do. I've already more than enough proved to people that this is who I am. This is what I love to do, and I can work hard to be here. And it's just, I don't know. I'm satisfied with how everything's kind of played out. I'm very satisfied. And I've gotten to meet the whole crew. I've gotten to meet everyone I've met, like the contestants, crew, everything, just a whole team. And I've gotten the chance, bond with everyone from the top 24 and on, and just getting this opportunity and this just the chance to just make friends here and connections and just get trauma bonded together. um,
It's a good way of putting it.
it's
Trauma
just
bonded.
yeah, trauma bonded, especially after Hollywood Week.
Oh,
Uh, Hollywood Week was definitely the most traumatic because there's such a short turnaround time between the rounds, and you're constantly kept on your toes. And that's kind of the point of it is Hollywood Week is your boot camp, right? It weeds the number like from 170 down to 24. And it puts you through some of the most intense situations you could ever find yourself in the music industry. And the purpose is to see how you operate under, the lack of sleep, the lack of time to learn stuff, just average stuff, like not average, but stuff that can happen in the music industry. It happened to Josh Groban. And I forgot who he was singing with. I think he was singing with Celine Dion, and he had to learn a song within 2 hours. And once he did, that set his career up for life.
Wow.
And
You
so
never know
what
in this business.
the purpose of Hollywood Week is basically kind of to prepare you for that and to see how well you operate under that pressure. And granted, it doesn't mean you're going to succeed. Your success completely depends on what you do after the show. But what this show most importantly does for you is that it prepares you for the music industry. It dips your toes into, reality television, the film industry, and the music industry, and like all combined. And there's like, this is how tough it can be. There's early mornings. You can be waking up at 5 a.m. and you don't get to bed until midnight. It's like, it's going to be busy, busy, busy. And what this show does is that it kind of prepares you for it and just tests you, and it teaches you. It really teaches you. That's the most important thing. It teaches you how to deal with it. And the most important part about it is the friends you make, because those people like crew, contestants, everyone here, you have to really get to know everybody, because these are the people that are going to be supporting you every step of the way.
I feel like you made a lot of great friends on the show too. It looked like you bonded with Philo and
Uh-huh.
and John. It looked like you had, who
Well,
was your
John was
roommate?
my roommate.
He was your roommate? Okay.
Yeah, he was my roommate. He was my roommate since Showstoppers.
So tell us something about John.
Well, he has a really bad habit of rearranging furniture.
In a hotel room?
Mm-hmm. Not hotel room, but like when we're in our dressing room,
Okay.
he's like shifting everything. He's like, I'm really not feeling it. I'm like, John is fine where it is, but I'm not feeling it. I'm like, John is fine where where it is, and of course he moves the table another 10 feet over. I'm like, John, John, please. Uh, we had like a strict bedtime too, and that was what was great about having John as a roommate, is that like we had agreed like, but if we are in the room before 8 o'clock, we are in bed by 8 o'clock. And it's like that way we get like a full at least 8 hours of sleep, if not more. And so we're not like dragging the next day and the next morning, because it's early morning, so you need that just sleep. And so I was lucky, because I know like other people, they like to stay up late or they like to play games, and like we were like, no, 8 or 9 o'clock, we're in bed, shower done, there's nothing else, we're asleep.
Now we're down to the wire, and John's in the top three. You got John and Jamal and Brianna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a crystal ball for this at all.
I don't either. It really depends on how America's feeling, like what genre they're feeling more so this year. Because I could see John winning if they're like feeling, hey, we kind of want a country guy to win this year. If they're really, vibing with Brianna's style and story, I could see Brianna winning. And if they really want, a super technical singer to win, like super like just Jamal's one of the most technically just gifted singers I've ever heard. And so like any run you give him, he can probably do it and do it 1,000 times better. And he's really good. Like he's a really good technical singer, and he can sing emotionally. He's really just perfect. And so it really depends on what just kind of genre. It's not really. It's not to the point where like who they're feeling more personally. It's just this point. I feel it's like point like what genre are they feeling this year?
I
Like
feel
what
like
genre?
I feel like everybody likes watching Jamal because he's a lot of fun to watch. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna, she hits these crazy notes. You never know like where she's going to go with it. and
Mhm.
and John just has like a lot of people across the board loving him. He's a young, good looking guy.
Yeah, yeah, young, good-looking guy. He's very friendly, personable, very charismatic. Um, yeah, I guess it really depends. I don't have a crystal ball for this one either. Um, I can't pick favorites, but
No, I wasn't asking you to.
even though I can't pick favorites, I have no idea who's gonna win. Like not even from what I heard, Abby Carter wasn't even like favored to win until her judge pick song. And then after that, this competition really started like going her direction. And so it was one of those things where she kind of came up from the bottom. And same with Fantasia. Fantasia, she was the what bottom two, and then she made it past it and then won. So it really depends on like just what America's feeling this year in terms of genre, I feel. Because they're all really personable people. They're very friendly. Um, I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea.
I feel like Fantasia did a lot with you kids.
Oh, she did. She's very friendly. Like we worked out like possibly like I ran through like different scenarios. I mean, this is how I could perform the song. I'm like, because I was thinking about playing it first, like kind of where that kind of that breakdown where it goes da 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 da. It does that. That's kind of I was thinking like I'm just gonna play that transition there and then stand up and sing. And like I was like working like the stage. I'm like I could go over here. I could like be talking to the camera or something. She's like, I think you should just stay behind the piano. I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. So I did it once behind the piano. And she's like, yeah. She's like, it's like it's something different, you know. I'm like, let's try it. And so we just worked through all these different scenarios, and she gave me her input on each one until we just finally settled on, let's just stay at the piano. And she's like, maybe during that big note, you kind of stretch back a little bit and just kind of take it in. And then yeah, it made for a really just hard performance, you could say, not because it was difficult, but because like I really just got into that mindset and just being behind the piano, I was just able to kind of like center myself into like this little bubble or reality where I'm just really like, okay, I truly believe, these lyrics.
Well, I'm glad that she was there as a mentor for you kids. It's just she seemed like also she was like feeling everybody's energy, and she was almost like a psychologist in many ways.
True. Honestly, yes. Like the one thing she kept telling us, like every single one, she's like, stop reading the comments. She's like,
Oh, and then
they
what,
do
oh, and then what was
nothing.
that thing with the scarves? She was getting you all scarves.
Oh yeah, she's like, put a scarf around your neck and keep your voice warm, right?
Maybe I'll try that as a DJ. Take advice
Hmm.
from Fantasia, right?
Well, honestly, if you do a lot of talking, you should warm up your voice.
Got a point there. What do you do to keep in the zone when you're, performing?
It's more about your imagination, really, right? You have to really just kind of imagine yourself back in the situation or remember you have to really kind of put yourself in the boots of the singer. And that's how you stay in the zone is that you put yourself in those shoes and then you tell people about it. Like you really have to believe what you're singing. And I may not be the greatest singer on the show, and I'm definitely not, but what I'm still confident in is that I can deliver emotionally. I'm like I used to I write all the time, and one of the biggest, things that's important to have as a writer is just the ability to kind of see yourself in situations and imagine it and tell the story. And in order to tell the story the correct way, you have to just really imagine yourself like this is where I am. If you're writing a song about, homelessness, either you have to see it, you kind of have to put yourself in someone else's shoes and kind of say, this is what you would this is what they go through if I went through that, this is how I would feel. And that's why I feel like, Ed Sheeran's A-Team is such a good song too, is because he really just, you hear like him sing the song and it's like he believes it. And if he believes it, you believe it too.
Well, now we're coming up on finale. And I saw the announcement of everybody that's coming up on finale for the guests next week. And I'm sure you're
Well,
back for finale.
we have what? Jennifer.
They said Jennifer Holiday, is it?
Yeah. And then we have Jessica Simpson,
Simpson.
Patti LaBelle, which I think we both know who she's going to be singing with.
Yeah.
There's Jessica Simpson. There's Josh Groban. I'm trying. Salt and Pepper.
That'll be fun.
It will be fun to see. I don't know if I'm allowed to share who I'm going to be singing with. So
you're not allowed to tell us to spill any tea.
I'll give you a hint. It's incredibly random.
Oh, okay.
So honestly, it can be any one of them. I'll just say it's a very random pairing, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. Like, it's one of those pairings, like, they told me who I was going to be singing with. I'm like, really? But, I'm like, okay, I can make it work. I'm going to have fun with this.
You're going to shoot.
I wouldn't have expected it. I never saw it coming.
Well, I can't wait to see you on the finale. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen beyond the finale. Oh, I have a fan question from Ann Late in New York. She says you're a cat guy and she wants to know all about your cats.
Well, I have 2 Siamese.
Oh, beautiful.
They're really old though. They're coming up on 15 or 16 now. They're old gentlemen. One's named Ares, the god of war, and the other one's Apollo, which is the god of music. And it's funny because Ares, we named him because that's one thing we would do with our cats. We name him after Greek mythology because it's funny. Ares is probably the most lovable cat you could ever have. Like, he will snuggle under the, like, if you like call him, he'll hop up and he'll snuggle with you. He'll even climb under the under the covers if you're in bed and like curl up under your arm and you just sleep with you. And he's a very just cuddly kitty, and he's named after the god of war, Ares. The irony is just I love it. And that was the great thing about getting eliminated, is that you get to go home and see the cats again.
See the therapy cats.
Exactly, the therapy cats. Yeah, it was really nice to go home because it's like I feel refreshed, right? Like, I can do this for a whole nother month if I needed to. Just getting to like just chill out and just sleep in my own bed for a couple nights. And yeah, it's so interesting how you can be in a place mentally and then you do one relatively minor thing and then you're just completely like, oh, I can do this for a whole nother month. And it's just it's so, I should study psychology. It's interesting.
Well, I, for one, am intrigued about finale. I'm trying to picture you. Will it be the Goo Goo Dolls? Will it be Good Charlotte? Will it be with Carrie? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess you'll find out.
I'll find out watching. And I cannot wait to see. Do we have any EPs or new music coming out? You dropping anything?
Nothing at the moment. As soon as I get off the show, I'm gonna start working on stuff.
Okay.
I don't have anything planned, but that's one thing I'm pretty darn good at, and that's just doing things in the moment. And I'll figure some stuff out. I'm probably gonna see about doing maybe a live performance, maybe local in Charlotte, maybe a couple months from now. That way you kind of give it time to get the word out and just plan everything. And I think I have to find musicians, and just a lot of planning goes into it. So I'm going to see about maybe doing a big old live performance, hometown, and just have fun, get the community in, just Most importantly, just have fun, because that's honestly all I'm here for, and that's to have fun and just enjoy my life, and enjoy my life with everyone else. I'm not,
Excellent.
I'm not the greatest person with conversations and answering, like doing interviews.
You've been
Uh,
great. What are you talking about? This has been fun.
I'm a bit awkward, but I do my best. I do my best.
Well, Josh King, it's been great having you on According to Amabile. I can't wait to see you in the finale and to see what you do. And maybe I'll see you when I'm coming through the airport sometime.
Maybe we'll see. Charlotte's a big airport for connections, isn't it?
Well, you could perform Michelle by the Beatles for me. That'll be for
Yeah.
me.
I don't know that one though.
You gotta
I know.
learn that.
Hey, Jude.
Okay, you could do Hey Jude. Thank you,
All right.
Josh, for joining According to Amabile. It's Michelle Amabile. We'll see you next time.